Yo, what is going on, everybody? Hope everybody's having had a fantastic weekend and enjoying, I guess, as far as the holiday, I guess, as far as if you are indulging. We got our themed, I guess, as far as Camaros here, I guess, as far as our, I got them out of order. So red, silver, and blue, I guess, as far as kind of to solidify Merca. So in the off stream, I have done quite a bit of work, I guess, as far as to get the rear end of this guy, I guess, as far as would be a little bit less revealing, if you will, with the spoiler on it. That's still a work in progress for that. So yeah. Also, I came to notice, I guess, as far as the windshield, when the car gets dirty, not quite right there. So can you remember if we got this one? Yeah, pretty much all in the good or standard there. So I guess we're kind of in the market, I guess, as far as to find another car to work on. So what do we have in the parking garage? So we're gonna have to look for a car. I know we've had some ideas, I guess, as far as for which cars we want to do. Let's check out a barn. I know there's probably a lot of folks, I guess, as far as that are probably on vacation and just enjoying, I guess, as far as the Labor Day. So what do we got in here? We've got a Toyota Super Standard. We have this guy. What is this guy? The Dacia Duster. I don't think I've ever worked on this one. So, I don't think there's really any cars in this barn I'm pretty interested in. Might be looking just to do a flip. I don't know. Oh, there's our crate already. Nice. Quick visit, I guess, as far as here at this barn. So we did find the crate. Yeah, I think we're shopped out on this this barn. We got our crate. Let's go ahead and head back to the house here. I'm going to check out the salvage auction. There, we do have the crate, though, so let's go ahead and open our crate. What do we get out of the crate today? Wow, 55. We're closing in on 56,000 scrap points. And our barn map is back. So that's cool. So get that back up to... We're still well over 100 on the barns. And I think now we'll go ahead and check out salvage auction. We don't have a Wabbit. Let's check out this Wabbit. They call it a Golf, and I guess maybe I'm a little bit out of sorts, or, you know, I'm not as educated, I guess, as far as on this one, but this definitely reminds me of a Rabbit, not a Golf. And I guess there are some differences between the Golf and the Rabbit. This is definitely reminds me more of a Rabbit. So looks like that engine is toast, from what I can tell of it. No interior, no doors. I think it's missing, yep, it's missing all of the doors, as far as the hatch, the doors. This would be like a bare frame type of deal. I'd have to get this for a really good price. So it's starting at 13, and it goes for not even really that high. You know what? We're gonna do it anyway, just for the heck of it. Okay, we got it. That's not too much overestimated. We'll take it. Let's head back to the house here and go check out our Rabbit. So we got our Wabbit. We're gonna work on the Wabbit. So it's missing all the tires, all the doors. I guess it does have one tire. I'll probably just take that one right off. Only got one tire, and it's in pretty bad shape. Oh yeah, this is going to be another one of those where just everything is shot. Let's get this over to the car wash, give her a bath. Need a better car to work on? Maybe. So we were just having some fun with this one from the salvage auction. So it's one we haven't necessarily worked on. Time we may just scrap it out. We didn't pay too much overestimated, so I don't feel like I'm too much out of money. But that was the only one that was kind of suiting our fancy at the salvage auction. So we gave it a shot. And she looks pretty rough shape. So I think this frame and all that is pretty much gone. If anything, we might just scrap it out. We'll get what we can out of it from scrap. Let's move the vest back over to A. Lift A. So I wonder if this module, is this going to be repairable? Probably not. Nope, not repairable. This will be able to charge. Let's get that charged. So that's something we can salvage off of this Wabbit. So we gotta have to. Oh, we already got the coolant out, so we're good. Yeah, all this is going to be one of those, just like the standard Camaro that we had earlier. Everything is red. A lot of scrapping we can do, though. What else we got in the engine bay? Anything? Nope. So, let's unmount this engine. Let's get that out of here. This might be a pretty quick one here, I guess, as far as this car. We got to get that from the top side. Looks like everything else is pretty much unmounted from that engine. Starter, there it is. It's hard to see everything, I guess, as far as this kind of all blends in together. Maybe weld the frame and just sell the body as a... You could probably do that. Make a little bit of money off welding the frame. Probably have to drain what little oil is probably in it. Not a whole lot in there, just a little spit. Yeah, we'll call it a rust bucket, indeed. Okay, so let's pull the engine out. Oh, we gotta take the gearbox out. I knew that. Damn it, dude. Toasty! Yeah, it's very toasty. Yeah, this thing's a total rust bucket. Okay, let's get the rest of that engine carcass out of there. Let's pull it out. Alright, let's move this out of the way. Okay, now we'll put the Wabbit engine on there. Install, we want this dude. Yeah, it's in pretty rough shape. So we'll just break her down and get some scrap. Yeah, this Wabbit was from the salvage, and it's pretty well just scrap. That's all it is, it's just straight up scrap. We're gonna probably strip it down, weld the frame, and just sell it. Let's see, in fact, let's go ahead and strip the rest of this off. I find it surprising that there wasn't Charger, I guess as far as we did our own rendition of the Fast and Furious Charger. This is our own rendition for from the Dodge DLC. I know it's not perfect, it's as far as to the one that's in the movie, I guess as far as, but that's our closest representation of it. I think we're down to the bare frame. She stripped all the way down. Yep, we got everything off of this thing, so we're down the bare frame. But what we're gonna do, we're gonna weld this frame. It's completely shot, so we're still 20% on the interior. Anyway, we're gonna go ahead and weld this, and then we'll just sell it. It's only $1,000. That'll work. So she cleaned up pretty nice. Pull that out of there. We'll just get her right down to the bare frame. This will be a nice little kit car, I guess, as far as for somebody able. I don't think we're gonna do that though. We're gonna do the story car. So we got a lot of stuff here to scrap. So let's do some scrapping, and then we got to scrap out that engine too. That was also from the Wabbit. Okay, so we got that all scrapped out. So now we get this engine taken apart. We could probably, now that I think of that, we can sell this dude off and see if we made any money off of this. Yeah, we'll make a little bit. Not a whole lot, but we'll go ahead and sell it. We'll go ahead and sell it and get rid of that. So we may have lost a little bit of money off of that, because we did start off at $1,035,000. We're at $1,034,000. So even though we made a little bit of profit on fixing that one up there, overall we kind of lost some money. Let's break this down so we can scrap it up. Everything in here is going to be red. Yep. Still got the story car that we got to do, I guess, as far as that Brent redeemed. Did I get all that scrapped out? I did. We got to take our tires apart. Let's do that. We'll scrap those out. Alright, we're going to scrap these out. And I guess we'll work on that story car. Awesome sauce. Alright, cool. So we are over 56,000 scrap points now. Here it is. Okay, so what do we got going on with this thing? Hey dude, you recognize me? Sure not. The internet star of car racing, well, perhaps a rising star. I go by the name of RM. This is my new car project. I just snapped it from the junkyard. For now, it looks like a piece of junk. We can make it a gem. I mean, you can. Yeah, I'll be doing all the work. Nobody has to know that, right? Sure, take all the credit. Are you in this, with this project? I hope so. You start up for the first episode. Alright, so I guess this guy wants to take all the credit that I do on this car. He wants to take all the credit. So we got to drain the oil. We'll do that first. Actually, we'll give her a bath. It's pretty filthy. I guess you got this from the junkyard. Apparently it's from the junkyard, but it's coming down here as a mission. Okay, so let's get her over to the car wash and give her a bath. And she needs a lot of work on the body panels, that's for darn sure. Detail the interior. So yeah, we definitely got to weld the frame. Here we go, Brent. Are we ready? Is everybody ready? First order of business is we got a lot of undiscovered parts. We only got 2 pages worth of undiscovered parts, so it's probably not that bad. Probably not that bad on this one. So let's get it lifted up. Definitely got to see if we can get it running. Yeah, I definitely feel like we gotta weld the frame. Let's drain the oil. That is one of the tasks we got to do. Yeah, that oil's pretty nasty. Well, what was in there? Anyway, we're gonna go ahead. So we drain the oil out of this puppy. We'll at least get this. We'll see if we can get it running this way. Probably not, but so put a new filter. We're gonna do some tests on this thing just to see if gotta break down some of the undiscovered parts. I guess the part it only has 2 pages, not even really 2 full pages. How do you have cars by the gas pumps? I don't know how to do it. That's the quality of life mod. Yeah, quality of life mod, I guess, as far as we'll allow for that. So yeah, being able to put the additional cars. So you initially by default get the 3 spots, but to get these spots, I guess as far as out here, that's quality of life mod. So these are all default. You get car on the rollback, you get the 2 out front, and you get the 2 under the canopy. Those are the additional ones you can get there. You can add more based on adjusting config, but the game can get kind of laggy, I guess, as far as you get too much going on out here. So it's better just to keep that many. I've had those same cars out there, I guess, as far as for quite a while. I've been mainly just using those 3 default spots. I do need a new alternator, battery. Battery is to tackle those fuses and relays. So here's the battery. I'm gonna charge it up and see if that'll count. We did get the battery charged. So we gotta see if this will count towards fixing up the battery. It did. So oil filter's good. Alternator. Let's do the alternator. I'm only gonna do what it's gonna require. Oh, apparently we do have one in the warehouse. Let's get the one in the warehouse. So alternator's good. I'm hoping maybe it's just mostly top end on the engine. So we need a new throttle. Let's tackle these relays. We'll probably might have to fix up the base too. Probably don't necessarily have to fix this up, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Let's get it back in here and see if that was one of the undiscovered parts. I don't think the base was one of them. So we had some relays and that fuse there, but not the base. It's not about that base. Okay. So the acceptable level is 22%. So those are right at that that level. I just felt it appropriate, I guess, as far as to go ahead and do that. And that one. Cool. That'll be that. We already fixed up the cover. So there's that. How's our status? So we got a throttle here to change out. Let's do that next. Hopefully we'll be able to do a compression test on it. Where's the throttle? Throttle is right here. Okay, so we need a new throttle. That's not repairable. Okay, so let's see if we're complete on this puppy. So that should take care of the throttle. We still got some other parts that are not discovered. Let's see if we can do a compression test on it. Nope. So it says we need to be complete. So what are we not complete on? Oh, I forgot to put the belt back on. Whoopsie. And that should be good there. So now let's see if we can do the compression. There we go. Uh-oh. So it looks like we're going to have to pull this engine. Got some piston rings that are not acceptable. Well, yeah, we're going to have to yeet this engine. Fix that up. Crank is acceptable. These piston rings and that are not. So about the only things that are acceptable would be this set of piston rings, the block, and that crankshaft. So we got to pull this engine. So it's a good thing I didn't put any oil in it yet. Let's go ahead and get this dismantled so we can get it out of there. We get the drive axles out so we can get that detached from the gearbox. Let's get this pulled up. So let's move this out of the way. So she's yeeted out. Let's get her up on the stand. So we got to break it down all the way at least to the pistons. Yep, at least down to that so we can fix those pistons up. Alright, so yeah, the covers are repairable. Timing chain is not, so get that. So we can get the head off. Now, that's as far as we need to go, I guess, as far as to get the bottom end unbuttoned so we can get those pistons out of there. So I don't know which ones of the pistons. It's going to yeet them all out. There's only 4 of them. So we're going to need 1, 2, 3 pistons. That one's actually accepted. 3 piston rings. I'm only replacing what is required. I think that should be. Let's check our clutch stuff. That needs to be replaced. So we need a new one of those. That's under 22%. So this is fixable. This is not. So let's go fix up the parts that we need to. So everything else is up above 22% or above. So we're good. Okay, we already determined the block is acceptable. Crank is acceptable. We can put the pistons back in this way. Pistons. We had basically 3 new sets of pistons along with the rings, and we had 1 that we could keep. So let's get ourselves a new fuel filter. 2 new squirt gun injectors, so that's acceptable. Cool. So sparkulators. We got 4 new sparkulators. Brand new ignition coils. We got a mix match of reused parts and such. So not completely rebuilt, I guess, as far as, but it's definitely partially rebuilt. I think we got everything. Other than the gearbox that we got that fixed. That's about it. So let's slap this thing back in here and see how we did. Yep, so just to kind of give a rundown, so the power steering pump we didn't check. Might have to check that, I guess, as far as to make sure that it is at least 22%. We had 1 idler that we missed. That's 2 items on the engine that we, okay. Maybe what I'll do is I'll put this back on the stand here real quick and just check those out. That is this fellow. Check the condition of that. That needs to be fixed. Okay, so let's fix up our power steering pump. Okay, that one's good. This idler is 22%, so which idler did we miss? Okay, let's take this back off for a second. There must be an idler underneath the timing cover. Oh, this guy must be. Okay. Okay, put the cover back on. That's acceptable. Okay, now we should be good. Now if we put this back in here, we'll find that everything is at least 22% or above. 92% though, not bad. Okay, let's see how we did on the car status. Looks like We only got 2 parts that are not discovered. That's pretty darn good. I'm gonna rule out, I guess, as far as going to be anything engine related, because we did get it broke down. We got it all determined what was good and what wasn't. Yeah, I think I'll do a OBD scan, I guess, as far as to see if there's anything else that definitely need to get discovered. This guy. See what else is going on here. And catalytic converter is bad. Okay, so that must be the other 2 items. ECU and the catalytic converter. Okay, so that should be our last 2 undiscovered. No, they're not. What the world? What the heck are these be? That's interesting. So let's see if it's going to be... Let me do a fuel pressure. That's kind of strange, I guess, as far as the fact that there's a lot of parts that are below 22, but yet they're not discovered. It said the catalytic converter was shot. Okay, we'll button up the gearbox and all that stuff on the front end. Should let us do a fuel pressure test now. Okay, what is not complete? Hold on a minute here. Starter would be good. There we go. Just needed that starter on there. So I wonder if that's... Is that one of the items? Fuel pump. Okay, so that leads it down to 1 part not discovered. Okay, so the fuel pump. So is it the fuel tank? Nope. Okay, so we're still tracking down what it might be. I think it might be the air filter. I thought maybe either that or the air box itself. Yeah, that's where I'm getting down to. So just breaking it down to the nitty gritty. So we'll go ahead and get a new one of those in here. We know that was one of the items. Now we're just down to 1. So let's check that air box situation. Filter, that is bad. Alright, so is that our last part? It is, indeed. So we need a new air filter. Let's get that on the list. These are the kinds of air boxes I like better that just screw in instead of the clips. Alright, so we can put our tires back on. I think all of our faults are fixed. So we got other tasks. We got to change out basically all the fluids. Yep, and we'll do that. We already did, we'll do the oil, we'll fill up the fresh motor honey. So that we have to refill or change it. Change it, okay, so let's drain it out. A little bit more, there we go. That should be all the fluids. Now we just got to put some fresh motor honey into her and that should be done. That's adequate motor honey. Remember, this is the one I could never find because it was concealed underneath the intake. Look at that. We did it. Let's make sure we can officially finish it. Nope. So, oh, I forgot to put the exhaust on it. Yep. I did pull a lot of that off of there. So let's put that back on. We probably replaced some things that we didn't really need to, but definitely had to make sure we had all of our bases covered. Still plenty of parts that were below 22%. Finish it. Story car's done. It does come back as a story car later on. Does it really? So we got to do, we got to continue doing some work. So that's 2 story cars that I can think of that we've done now, as far as with the Bolt cargo van and that Mitsubishi Lancer. Oh, we got a crate too. Let's open up our crate. Yeah, we'll take those. Put that away. Still well over 100 on our barn maps. And it looks like we got a lot of stuff to scrap. I think we'll probably work on this guy next. Let's put him on there. And let's do a little bit of scrapping. Clean out the inventory. There we go. In fact, what I'd like to do is maybe make a comparison, I guess, as far as to those 2 cars. Let's put this guy in the parking garage and make some room here on the... Is that the one I want? Yeah, that is the one I want. So I'm going to move this over to... And then once we find a McLaren F1, I'd like to make some comparison between... I think these are pretty similar. Similar in body style between the McLaren F1 and this guy. Pretty much the same type of body style and stance. So we'll do some comparison. So this one... I don't remember if we did do some performance to it. Pretty well in the green, I guess, as far as in that route. We did put some performance onto this, okay. I think, if I remember right, on this one here, you have to just pull the clamshell off. Well, it's not hinged. Anyway, we'll leave that one out here, I guess, as far as for that comparison. Let's go see at the barns if we can find a McLaren F1. Alright, do we got anything loose out in here? Not really. So we're looking primarily for that McLaren F1. Model A hot rod. Not what we're looking for. We have, what is this thing? Is that a Land Rover? Land Rover Defender. We haven't seen one of these. That's kind of interesting. Forgot we had that DLC. Kind of reminds me of a Jeep. I guess those are kind of in the same class. We have a Porsche 911. And that one is the European version, not the Merca. We do have the Merca version. Pretty cool cars, I guess, as far as I just kind of like that. It got the whale tail on it. Yeah, pretty fun little cars, but definitely not an F1 McLaren. Cool, on a crate. Checked out the cars. Pretty good to go in this barn. Let's head back to the house. We'll check out a junkyard next. Alright, let's open up our crate and see if maybe we can get some credits out of this. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. So we're gonna go check out a junkyard. See if we can find this McLaren in the junkyard. Alright, let's see how lucky we get here in the junkyard. So nothing loose there, which we only got a couple of items there. Let's see if we got a F1 McLaren out here. So we do have, is that a Challenger? Yep, Challenger RT. We already have one of those. So we got a Coupe de Ville Cadillac C3 Corvette. Pretty well picked over. Ooh, we got a Gen 2 Camaro right here. Nice. Is that a bare frame? I believe that's a bare frame. We got a bare frame Gen 2. Standard. We already have one, but how much do they want for this guy? 4,500 bucks. 4,500 credits. So this is a AW drag. So this one we came to find we don't have the TK aftermarket to do this one properly. So it looks like we got a Model T hot rod. That should be all the spots here in the junkyard, I guess, so far. So no McLaren. So we did check out the junkyard. We did not find an F1 McLaren. I'm thinking we can check out the salvage auction next. So we'll do a round robin of salvage auction, barn, and junkyard until we find one. I'm going to check out a salvage auction. So another thing we can do, just to confirm, I guess as far as that it does load in, we can go to the salon. Now that's assuming, I guess as far as that option is available, I guess as far as for, and let's see if it does. So if it doesn't load up in there, then we know we probably got to restart. You got to love the elevator music at the salon. But in any case, regardless if it's a mod or DLC, if it's 100% available to spawn in those other locations, it'll show up in here. So it's orange, just like the C8. So yep, all those are loading in, so we know that's functional. So yeah, we don't have the McLaren F1, so we're gonna have to relaunch the game. So let's go ahead and go back to the house. So let's go ahead and go this. I'm gonna save up our progress here. So I do know too, I guess as far as a lot of times, don't necessarily have to get completely out, but just to make absolutely sure, we're gonna get completely out. Just to make absolutely sure. We'll get this relaunched. We'll get it out of this. Okay. Bloop. So we're launching back in. This should 100% 100% allow us to get the McLaren F1. Now the fact that that was such a beefy car file, like 80 some megabytes, that's pretty big. So the Gen 2 Camaro that we've designed, I guess as far as is fraction of that. I don't even think it's 20 megabytes. So there's probably a lot of detail in that thing. Okay, so now I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna do junkyard. If we don't find one there, we'll go to barn, and last will be salvage auction. Just do a round robin on that. Let's go first to the junkyard. Beefy file. Right now, as it stands for our Gen 2, we have the 1 body style. Once I get that second body style, that might add a little bit more, but it shouldn't be anywhere near that big. So yeah, if there's 5 different body trims on that McLaren, yeah, it makes sense as to why it's. I want to check this. We do have a battery. That is, those are chargeable. All right, let's try our luck out as far as finding the McLaren out this time. Oh wow! So here's some parts for the McLaren. LT only. So used with trunk B only. That's a rear clamshell. Interesting. So we have a part here, I guess as far as it's probably not repairable. It is red. That's cool. So we know it's loaded in. That is a Mustang, bare frame Ford Mustang. Nice. That's the OG Mustang. Ooh, here's another one. I like how these are nice and defined. So used with rear clamshells, E and F only. So I think this, like you said, Jack Dog, I guess as far as there's 5 different body trims. So here's a hood. It's a front clamshell. Very well. I'll be dang. So LM and GTR. Okay. So yeah, we're finding some McLaren F1 parts. These are broke, so I'm not gonna even bother. I'm gonna grab this dude. So if it is repairable, I'll go ahead and grab it. Chrysler Cordoba. Okay, cool. So it's not gonna show me the picture here, but this is a F1 clamshell D, so that's gonna be the name main. Ugh. Good grief. So the fact that it's a D tells me it's a tuned clamshell. So the fact that it's A, B, C, D, that's trim level 4, based on the lettering, I guess, as far as of the parts. I wonder how much that costs in retail. Nice. Okay, so let's keep looking here. So, ooh, we got another. So we got an active arrow up. What the heck? So that is for the McLaren F1. Used with rear clamshell A through D, but that is not repairable. Kind of cool that we are finding these McLaren F1 parts though. Okay, so I think we're good on this visit. No McLaren in this visit, but we did get some parts to include our map. All right, so let's go ahead and buy these parts. So let's go over here, fix up the parts that we can. I did get this dude out. I feel this is a pretty good comparison, I guess, as far as to the F1 McLaren. So, yeah, we're going to do some comparison, I guess, as far as to the Ford GT40. Okay, let's see if it'll show us in our inventory. So we can see the difference between this hood and that hood. Oh, that's a GT40. My bad. Take that back then. So this is a GT40, so I'll probably just sell this guy. I didn't realize that. I got a little bit excited when we found that. So this is a GT40, this is the McLaren. Well, you can definitely see the differences in that. I don't know what this part's for. It just says it's part 3, and it is a tuned part. So what I noticed is this is a door C and a front right. So the left door's got a different picture. I'm a little bit confused on how these doors work. This is a right door C and a left door C, but these look totally different. So it is the McLaren F1. So I'm kind of confused why those pictures are. I would expect this one to be the same picture on the right side. Huh. Yeah, so I'm a little bit confused. So this one's for the LM and the GTR, and this one's only for GTR. So whatever the LM is, I don't know if that's limited. So this one's only for an LT. There's a lot of different trims in here, apparently. That's wild. So I think I'm just going to sell this dude. Didn't mean to get that one. So we do have all these McLaren parts here, at least. Let's put our barn map away. So that was our junkyard visit. Let's go check out... Let's do a barn. We're on the hunt for McLaren F1. So looks like another rabbit. This rabbit looks like a lot better shape than we found earlier. What do we got down here? So we got a supercharged, that an Eldorado Coupe de Ville. We have, looks like a Ford Sierra. So that's definitely not one we're looking for. So no McLaren in this barn. Consider those. So we got, oh shoot, no, I forgot. Which one did we have already? I think we had a left door. I'm gonna grab it anyway. If we already have it, we can already just sell it. Ooh, so we got this hood B. That's a McLaren F1. Now, this one's not marked any other way. So we had a front clamshell, but I guess I don't have a hood, so I'm gonna take that. Well, there's our crate. We'll take that. We did get at least 1, 2. So we got the hood and that door. I think I might already have this one in our inventory. We'll check that out once we get back to the house. Okay, so let's take a look at our crate. We get some credits, build up our credits here again. We got a nice big chunk of credits last time. So we got 2 new barn maps, we're still well over 100. So, alright, so did I already have that one door? Okay, so this one's for B, this is a C. We'll be able to find out, I guess, as far as how well these are interchangeable, like it is on the on Smokey's Camaro. But from what I'm seeing here, yeah, we do have a right and a left door. This one says for the LM and the GTR. This one's only GTR. I'm gonna fix that one up, as well as the hood. So we did good on that barn find. Fix it up. So those parts are fixed. And now we just gotta find ourselves an F1. Okay, so far we're batting 0, I guess, as far as finding this McLaren. Let's check out the salvage auction. So it's gonna be an orange, like the C8. That's what Jack had mentioned. There it is. We got a 1 star, and it's an LM. Look at that. So yeah, we kind of figured that these are going to be pretty expensive. This is a 1 star. Ayya caramba. Okay, so this one's an LM, so it does allow for spoiler. Let me do an inspection on this thing. So it looks like majority of the engine's here. Got all the tires. Crankshaft pulley is shot. Probably have to rebuild the engine anyway, so, but it looks like all of it is here. I mean, I shouldn't say that because I don't know what all needs to be there, but from what I can tell there, it looks like it's all there. Battery is still in it. ECU, probably have to replace that anyway. So I noticed we're missing a lot of the body panels. So it's missing this trunk. It's missing the front clamshell as well as the hood. This is pretty well, all this ductwork here, that's all carbon fiber. It looks like that's supposed to be sitting in it. Hold on, has that got a seat in it? Oh, it's a 1-seater. Okay, gotcha. So can we sit in it? No, so it looks like there's no seat in it. We're gonna need a seat. So it looks like a lot of their interior. This is pretty, that cubby hole, I guess, as far as, what the heck is going on here? Holy mackerel, this thing's got a lot of detail to it. Now I saw the starting price on it was like just under $500,000. That's gonna sting a little bit. $500,000. Our first bid is 50,000. Goes up to 9.4. This is gonna wipe us out. We're gonna have to probably build up some funds for this car. Holy smokes. And this is a 1-star. Yeah, so when you were saying hold on, I guess as far as you weren't kidding. This is, so for a 1-star, look at how much this thing is going for. Yeah, I think we're gonna have to build up our funds here, I guess, as far as before we even consider, but at least we have the option. I might try to bid on this, but if it gets even close to this amount, I'm not even gonna, I'm bowing out. Right where it starts out of, I'm not wiping my bank out just to get this car. Holy mackerel. Let's bid on it anyway, just to see where it goes. Yeah, see, I'm already out of money. I'm already out of money. So, yeah, we're definitely gonna have to save up our funds for that car, but at least we know we can get one. That's good to know. That one will go for $4 million, so I don't know what the different trims are. So the fact that that's an LM, I don't know what the difference is between the LM and the GTR, but at least that gives us an idea of what we need to shoot for. So yeah, what I'm seeing out of that, I guess, as far as we need to build up our funds. So what we'll do, with that being said, is we'll find ourselves a car we can fix up. Let's try this Pagani. So this one's going for 18, goes up to 6. Yeah, this one we can handle a little bit better. Oh, we got it. Look at that. So we got it just a shade over the estimated. So let's head back to the house and we'll fix up this Pagani Revolution. That'll be good. So I think we can fix this one up here indefinitely. So are we in the hole or not? So even... yeah, we got a good buy on this one here, so I'm feeling pretty good about this one to be able to make a little bit of money. Probably won't fix it up all the way 100%, but we'll definitely get it running and all that. So let's go ahead and get this over to the car wash. How's the frame anyway? Frame needs to be welded, so let's do that right off the bat. We got her welded, and that should have gave us a little bit more value. Oh yeah, cool. Let's get it over to the car wash and give her a bath. So these have a carbon fiber body to them, I guess, as far as on there. You can see some of it even before we wash it. Right now, 61. I think we can get this up over 100,000. Should be able to get it up over 100,000, get it running. I'll be happy with that. Yeah, the fact that most of the majority of the engines here, that's awesome. Let's get this back over to lift A. Cool. Now, we do need a tire on here, so we've got that completely missing. And I'm going to put a temp on it. I'm not going to get the same rim, but we do need a rim that is... so on the front, so we got 19 incher. So we gotta get a 255/35 tire and 19-inch rim. So I'm just gonna get a steely. So let's go to the rim shop and get a 19-inch cheapie. We'll get. You can always paint it too if you want to. I'm gonna pull this one off so we can get the color off of it. I think I had this problem before where I wasn't able to get the exact color off these Pagani rims. We'll see what happens this time. I'm going to pull that apart. We'll fix that rim up. Fix up that rim. And then what we can do on our new rim, on our temp rim, I guess, as far as we can paint that. This is the problem with the Pagani rim. So it doesn't give you the color code for that. We had this problem before. So I've only witnessed this issue with the Pagani rims. It doesn't give you the color code. So we're just gonna have to try and match this. So I guess that's pretty exclusive, I guess, as far as to Pagani for that color. So we're gonna see if we can just create our own color. So let's go this way. So that's a metallic. Let me see here. So we can go into here. I think if I chrome it, that might be pretty close. Yeah, I think if we do that, that should be pretty close right there. Somewhere in that range. Yes, that's both the only rims that we've come to find that we cannot get that color code off the rims, at least anyway. Okay, so let's go to the tire shop. Wow, just for one slick. Raise it. Alright, so we'll go ahead and do that. Let's put this back together. That's nicer than using a crowbar and a hammer. Yeah, as far as this guy, yeah. Yeah, we're all high-tech in this garage. Because you can do just the bare minimum, I guess, as far as on these cars. So I like to just get the cars like this just running and looking pretty nice. We are missing a lower control arm and front shock assembly. Okay, so we might rebuild that. So let's do part mount. So we need this lower control arm, and we'll need a couple of rubber bushings to go with that. Let's go back to this store. Let's get one of those. Get a couple of rubber bushings for that. We've done this enough time to kind of know what other parts need to go with these. We're gonna have to lift it up, I guess, as far as to get those in there. So yeah, we'll go ahead and put that tire back on. We'll put the new rim and tire on this side. Well, actually, this has the scuff on it, but I think we matched that up pretty close. Not perfect, I guess, as far as on the color, but we did our best, I guess, as far as to try to match that, I guess, as far as to the default color of the Pagani rims. Okay, so let's see if we can do some tests on this engine. Ooh, are we missing anything? Wow, this engine is pretty complete. That's awesome sauce. So we're in the market, I guess, as far as to get a F1 McLaren. That's a mod car. It's pretty pricey though. So we're just flipping some cars, I guess, as far as kind of build up the funds. Okay, let's do some tests. See how the engine's looking. I mean, it'll probably start. Don't get me wrong, even in this condition, it'll probably run. So let me do OBDs. Let's check our ECU and all that and see what condition that's in. So all this is in the orange. So definitely not out of the realm of possibility for to get this thing running. Just do all the tests just to kind of confirm that everything's good to go there. Yeah, these go for good money when you fix them all the way up. One thing I need to double check here, can I get this all the way on the ground? Yep. So I want to make sure I got the right size tire on that corner. So yeah, everything so far is in the orange. This is an amazing condition for the salvage auction. Yeah, we'll charge the battery. Let's charge this guy. Cool. Yeah, I definitely feel like we should be able to get this thing running. Let's put some fresh oil into it. What's the dipstick say? Ooh, that's yucky. Yeah, let's change that out. Let's get it up on the lift and we'll change the oil out. Let's do drain the oil, because that oil in the dipstick didn't look very good. Might need to get that from topside. So this has got a skid plate along the whole bottom of this thing. So oil pan sticking right through that skid plate. They're pretty interesting cars, but they can be kind of a pain in the butt as far as in some regards. So this is another thing that is a known issue with the Paganis. The collision on it, I guess, as far as can get a little bit wonky. A lot of times it'll tell you need to be in the engine bay, even though you already are. So it's just got to find the right angle for it. See how it says right there? Got to be on the lift. We run into this problem all the time with the Paganis. I think it's definitely a known issue. Let's get it from this way. Actually, that's not terrible shape. I guess as far as we'll go ahead and replace it. Slap that in. Okay, so I'm going to change out this windshield. Okay, so we'll get this new window. Actually, I want to fix up these body panels here. Yep, that's fixable. We'll fix these up. This was missing the door. Okay, so we're missing the rear clamshell and the front clamshell. I may or may not have those in the warehouse. We'll check it out. Okay. If I've got any more of these, so we still got these McLaren parts, I guess, as far as we'll probably hold on to those for a minute. We need to do some new seats. Sometimes you got to get in an angle that's it's kind of awkward. Let's put it that way. Our interior should be in pretty decent shape. Oh yeah, body, we're definitely gonna get that fixed up. So that door was on the right side. So just to confirm, I'm gonna look in my warehouse. So we're gonna have to buy those. So they do get, there's quite a bit of sticker shock, I guess, as far as buying these body parts, but you make up for it, I guess, as far as quite a bit. We did come to find that the ECU in that was still good. I think I'm gonna change this out just to get a little bit better. So let's put some fresh coolant. I don't think we're gonna pull the engine. We're gonna see if we can get it running the way it is. So we did get a new filter on it. New filter's already on it. We get a new air filter. So yeah, you gotta take all this off just to get oil into it. Kind of crazy. Fuel rail. Yeah, I don't know if this is the way it is in reality, but that's kind of wild that you got to take all that out just to get oil into it. Okay, so let's check the dipstick. Make sure we got an adequate motor honey in there. That looks good. Nice and clean. Okay, let's get that put back on. I think we're good. I just want to make sure we can get her running. Or I put the... So this is one of those where they're not hinged on the rear clamshell. So once you put that on there, you just have to pull it back off. So I'm going to wait and see if we can get this running. Come on, baby. She starts. Might be a little rough, but she starts. That's all I wanted her to do. Sweet. Okay, so she does run. She's a runner. I think I'll fix up these rims on the back. I kind of want to probably change out the fuel pump. Let's take these apart. Alright, let's get these rims fixed up. Fix that fuel pump there too, of course. We've only broken one part today, so we're not too bad. So fuel pump. I feel like I want to change out these tanks too. So we'll go ahead and put this in there. I'm just happy we definitely got it running. Doing the bare minimum on them. Okay, we got to get these tires put back together first. Okay, and then we'll put the rear of the back on. Yeah, so I'm expecting to get pretty close to 100,000. Oh, we gotta balance that one. Oh yeah, yeah, we're still awake here, Richard Batman. Okay, rims are back on. Okay, so we got that all done. Let's get her back on the ground, and we can work on putting some body panels on this thing. Assemble. So we're gonna need a front clamshell and a rear clamshell, which we don't. We've confirmed we don't have these in the warehouse. Okay, so there's all that. So with that minimum amount of work done, we are now at 126,000. We haven't even completely. So that's mostly just the body panels. So we more than doubled our money, I guess, as far as from the salvage auction. Nice. So if we were to fix it up all the way, we can definitely make more. I don't think I'm gonna do that though. I'm just gonna keep quick flipping all these cars. So we fix up the interior. What else is bad? So the other parts. So that's all gonna be all the suspension and stuff like that. I'm not gonna worry about that. What did we miss still on the body? Rear bumper. That's another big chunk there. So that's probably fixable. Okay, so let's get that fixed up. So the rear bumper. Oh, we gotta take this off. Plus, we're gonna need taillights and headlights. In reality, that would be a rear diffuser. Okay, so that's fixed up. There we go. We'll get some taillights into this. There's that, and we got some headlights we can put on it to renovate on this car. So now we're at body is now at 93. That's perfect, and the rest of our parts are that way. And that's going to be like the engine, suspension, all that stuff. We're not going to worry about that. So now we're worth, just by doing the minimum stuff there, I'm happy with it. Ah, dang it, that's loud. There's Farmer Guy. That's something. You must have had your ears ringing. Yeah, we matched that temp room, I guess, as far as pretty good. So yeah, she does run. Runs. So anywho, we got this thing fixed up, I guess, as far as for this Zonda. I think we're good to go there. So I think we're just going to sell this dude. Got it fixed up well enough. It does run. It does run. Oh my god, that's loud. That's definitely something very different. Alright, we're going to sell that one. Alright, so we're back over that much. So we do have parts here we want to scrap. Based on that Zonda, we're going to not do that, I guess, as far as the McLaren. So let's scrap that. Big bonuses, no whammy. Happy, happy, happy. See, that one comes through pretty good. Okay, so we got all of our McLaren parts. So we did check out a salvage auction to get that Zonda. We just got to build up the funds. So I'm thinking I want to check out another salvage auction. I have a lot better luck at the salvage auctions than anything. So yeah, I think once we can get to about 2 million in the bank, which I don't know if we're going to make it there today, but that's going to be our goal, I guess, as far as to get that up there so we can get that. Might try for that GT Special. This one's a pretty decent config that's on the Steam Workshop in comparison to that Evo. That Evo one is as far as a pretty wild one. So yeah, what kind of shape is this one in? So this one does have a rear bumper delete onto it, so that's not missing, and it's just the way that one's designed. Always on these types of cars, just try to get it as much below estimated as possible. All right, we got it for 77, so that's well under estimated. What else we got in here that we want to bid on right away? Alright, we'll just head back to the house and we'll check this one out. Alright, cool. So let's check out. That should be on the lift. So how's the frame looking? Let's go ahead and weld her. So it's a pretty hefty cost, I guess, as far as to get these welded. Pretty decent amount of money for those. Give her a bath. Looks like she's probably just going to be red. I forgot to look and see if we were in the hole. So we'll check it after we get it. Yep, she's red. See where we're at. So yeah, we're in really good shape on this car. Get her over to lift A. Now, in comparison, like I was mentioning, the tires on the Pagani, this one here, we should be able to get that color. So, let's see what we got here. Fix the rim up. Cool. We're going to need 3 temporaries. So, let me see. Do we got them? Are they staggered? Yes. So, 355 wide in the back. We got 19-inch diameter on the front. Let me go ahead and get some temp rims. Let's go to the rim shop. You know what? I'm just going to use the swath that I had. We'll paint that dude. Close that. Now I don't even have to paint it. I can save myself even more money. I just want to make them look presentable anyway. Now we're going to need some tires. So we need one that is this size. Right, so we need one of those. That should go on the rear. Oh, that was a huge boo-boo on my part. So I needed 2 19s and a 20-inch. Good thing I didn't pay too much for those. That's another advantage I guess as far as just buying the steel tires like that. Yeah, I just realized that now. The error in my ways. There we go. That's more better. Let's get those painted. You know what? At this point, I don't even think I'm going to paint them. I'm not going to waste my money, I guess, as far as I'm painting them. How about that? We're just going to leave them this steel. So we do need two 19-inch tires. And I don't even have to go the same width on it. I can, just as long as they're 19-inch tires, that's all we need. There we go. We'll just get two of those. That's all we need. Let's put those on the rims. It's going to be a little funny looking, I guess, as far as, but fine by me. Okay, we do need to get these balanced. Got to have the balance on them. Look at how skinny these things are. They're like motorcycle tires. Kind of like bike tires. How skinny. So this is just one of the many ways, I guess, as far as you can kind of cut corners in a way, I guess, as far as to not have to spend all the money, I guess, as far as to get the car fixed up, as long as you got it done minimally. It's going to need new glass. I'm going to get all new glass. Now let's fix up some body panels. Okay, let's go figure so we can fix up some body panels in the bank. Then at least we'll have enough to auction to get one of those McLarens. Maybe even more than 2 million, because we're going to need to fix the McLaren up. We'll work on it. We'll work on it. Let's go ahead and put this back together. So I want to get some new headlights. Wait, did I not take this one off? I must not have took this one off. So I think that mirror was shot. I guess. Oh, I guess this one does have a rear bumper. I thought this one had the delete. Maybe this isn't the one I was thinking of. I know one of them does. I thought this was a tail lights. I guess we need a rear bumper. There we go. So I guess that one does require the. Okay, so that's not the one I was thinking of. So we need this window. Okay, so I think. Do we got to do anything with the suspension? Let me see if we're missing any parts on the suspension there so we can put the tires back on. I mean, we could even go so far as to not complete the suspension. Yep, so we are missing some parts here. We need a caliper as well as a cylinder. So let's go back to this store. Getting to the beat of that time. I'm going to finish up this one, see if we can get her running. You get hungry, you get work up hunger, I guess, as far as working on these cars. So it has been proven, I guess, as far as that you don't have to have a complete suspension, I guess, as far as you even get the tire on. I think it's the, if I remember correctly, it is the upper control arm that you need to have on at the minimum. I think if I remember that right. But yeah, you don't even have to have it complete. Just get the parts that are missing. That should allow for tire. Nice. So these, we put the real skinny ones on there. In the 135 wides. Yep, those are the ones. That looks so funny looking. We're missing that tire on in as well on this side. Okay, now we're ready for that tire. Cool. Alright, so there's all that. So now we can put this tire back on. Oh, I didn't put that back together yet, that's why. I was gonna say, what happened there? Pull that one off. Let's put those back in. So this one's missing both upper and lower control arm. So I haven't even got to the point, I guess, as far as being able to get this to run. So we're missing a wheel bearing on that one. Let's get a wheel bearing. So this one we need a drive axle. There we go. And then we can put that tire back on. Sweet. Alright, so there's all that. Now, let's see if we can get this on the ground. Look how funny that looks on the front end. Those skinny tires. It works though. Gets her on the ground. So how much are we worth now? We are worth, so we're 90% on the body. That's excellent. Holy smokes, yeah. This one's a nice one. So we don't even have it running yet. So let's see if we can do some tests on it. Yep, so it's all there. Let's see what kind of condition it's in. Cool. Yeah, I think we can get this one running too. Let's do a fuel pressure test. Okay, I think that's doable. Let's do the scanner. ECU, that's all. Okay, we're gonna roll with that. Good to me. So let's go ahead and do electrical. That'll be all the tests. We could probably charge the battery if we wanted to. Don't even really need to. Let's see if we can drain the oil. Yep, oil's pretty nasty. Filter should be right here. Get herself a new filter. Fresh motor honey in there. Sweet. Yeah, I think we're in pretty good shape to get this thing started. Let's get it started. Let's get it started in here. Let's get it all the way down. Okay, so motor honey. There we go. Now we can get some oil into her. So we should have enough honey in there. Just let it overflow. So yep, adequate motor honey. Let's get that put back together. Cool. All right, so there's that. Let's see if she starts now. We need at least a driver's seat and a steering wheel. That on the list. That on the list. And there we go. Now we can send in it. See if she starts. There she goes. She's got a little bit of a hard start, but she's a runner. Let's see if we can drive it. So we got to check all the reservoirs. So that might have been the only thing that was with the Pagani Zonda too that we worked on earlier. Just got to check all the reservoirs, make sure they're filled up at least anyway. Top it up on the coolant. Do the cherry juice in this guy. The brakes, and that should be in the front. Yeah, if I had it in me, I guess as far as to do it all, I'd probably just replace all this. But again, just trying to show examples of what you can do, I guess, as far as to do the bare minimum. So what are we worth now, I guess, as far as just doing all that minimum work? Not bad, just under 200,000. Nice. All right, let's see if we can drive it now. There we go, and it's ready to drive. So as long as we can get to that menu, we know it's drivable. And with that said, I guess as far as we're going to sell it. That's a nice little fixer-upper, I guess, as far as from the salvage auction. Cool. All right, let's go ahead and sell it. Here I am. Cool, that's a little bit closer, I guess, as far as to get the $2 million into the bank. We've got a lot more work to do, I guess, as far as on that regard. So we'll just keep flipping cars and get up to that so we can... that's probably going to be a kind of a new series that we'll have here as far as to make enough money to get that F1 McLaren. And you already do have 2 parts, I guess, as far as to be able to apply to that F1 McLaren once we do get it. Had quite a bit of fun here today, folks, I guess, as far as we were kind of all over the map, I guess, as far as with what to do today. So a lot of barns, a lot of junkyards, a lot of salvage auctions, a lot of flip cars. Definitely just on the hunt now, I guess, as far as to get that F1 McLaren. So those are all you new folks, I guess, as far as that did chime in today. Glad you did drop by and stuck around, I guess, as far as for today's Monday. We do this every Monday here on the channel. Definitely it's going to get a little bit more exciting with finding this F1 McLaren. So feel free to tune in. We'll be back on this gameplay, I guess, as far as on our Wednesday, or whatever Wednesday. For tomorrow, we'll be doing some trucking. We're going to do some virtual trucking, I guess, as far as there in American Truck Sim. So if you want to check any of that action, make sure to tune in, I guess, as far as for tomorrow. Hope you all do have a marvelous rest of your Monday, and we hope to see you all again real soon, folks. Bye for now.